All right, Bill. So you were a flyer. You moved 18 times. When did that itch or inkling of real estate pop in your head? Was it a friend, a buddy, an event? Where did that first light bulb go? Hey, I need to check this out.
Yeah, so my parents weren't in real estate. I never really kind of grew up with that. We lived in really, a couple houses. My dad was in the Navy too. But when I was in college, I was at Georgia Tech, and I was in ROTC. So we had to wear a uniform a couple days a week. If you've been to college, you may have seen some of those guys
Yep.
marching around, doing like running in the morning at 5 a.m. That was me. And I had a commanding officer there who said he bought a house in every place that he ever lived, and he moved a lot. He was another aviator, and he never lost money. So that kind of like planted the seed of real estate that one day I'll be interested in it and I'll do something with it. So I just remembered that. And eventually when I stopped moving every 9 to 12 months, I wish I did it right away. I wish I bought houses right away. But I moved to California, to San Diego. I bought that first house. And then when I got deployed, I rented out that condo that I bought in San Diego. And then I moved to Pensacola. I bought a house there and fixed it up. And I lived there when I was in Pensacola. And then when I moved to England, I rented that house out. So now I had a couple rental properties, and I started seeing, it wasn't when I got one. When I got one, I was like, okay, I'm really not seeing a big difference in my income.
Right.
But when I started tracking my net worth, so I tracked my net worth every single month. And the equity was building up in the houses way faster than my equity was
Mhm.
building up in the stock market, because I was investing heavily in the stock market. Almost like 100% of my money was in the stock market then.
Mm.
And so I started seeing this. And then when I got my second one, I started seeing more income, like more monthly income that was actually affecting my bank account. My bank account was going up faster than I was spending it.
Mm.
I don't spend a ton of money, but now they started stacking. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll do another one. So then I bought a third rental house when I moved back from England. The whole time I was in England, I was researching the new duty station I was going to be back in Maryland. And then I bought a rental house in Maryland, fixed it up, rented it out. Now I had three, and it was really starting to stack. And my net worth
Wow.
was going up a ton. And I was like, wow, real estate is something that can really make me wealthy way faster than these other traditional means that traditional people think they're traditional. They're really not.
Mhm.
And then I got married. We had our first baby, and I was like, okay, now I got two mouths to feed. Now I have three mouths to feed. I need to go faster. And real estate
Yeah.
was a vehicle that I could go faster in. So then I flipped my first house, and then I bought another rental and another rental and another rental. And then I flipped another house, and it just started to become something that I was really interested in, because it was really helping me financially. And that's what it was
Yeah.
all about. I kind of
And
fell in love financially with real estate.
what year was that first purchase in San Diego? Do you remember roughly?
Yeah, I do. I know exactly when it was. It was in May of 2006.
Oh,
So
you
yeah.
ticked the top of the market.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. And we can talk about that forever if you want. Like I bought it for 385, and I sold it for 200.
Oh,
So so
ouch.
that was my first entry into real estate. However, the Army had a plan called HAP program, Housing Assistance Program. And so if you bought during the peak and then they forced you to move during the crash, they would bail you out at almost
Mm.
like 100% of what you paid for it. So
Okay.
I actually got really lucky. They bailed me out. I had a friend help me sell that property.
Mm.
My friend really pushed me. He was my realtor. He really pushed me to do it, and I'm glad he did.
Yeah.
Because I was losing $750 a month on that house as I was renting it
Right.
out down the road
Right.
after the crash. So it just wasn't sustainable for me.
Mhm.
And yeah, so it bailed me out. And I didn't, most people would get frustrated, say this doesn't work and quit. And in 2009, I bought my second house.
Right.
And then in 2012, I bought the third house. So that's kind
Yeah.
of,
So you ticked the top and you ticked the bottom.
in 2000, I wish that 2009 was the bottom. I actually paid like, it was still kind of coming down. Pensacola
Okay.
didn't really feel it as hard
Oh,
as
okay.
everywhere else.
All right.
And so I paid way more than I
Okay.
should have for that house, but it was my time. I was moving. I didn't want to rent. At that point, I was like, renting a house is out of I'm never doing
Yeah.
that again.
Never do it
Never.
again. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Very, very cool.